Awesome. I think we're live, Atlantic. Welcome to everyone that has already started to tune in. My name is Block, otherwise known as Block is Hot channel that you're on right now. And we have Atlantic over here that also has his channel. And yeah, we're going to kind of co host this stream today that is going to go over this Wolves of Rome tournament. So pretty exciting stuff. I haven't played the game too much, so I'm glad to have an expert here, Atlantic. And yeah, we're just gonna have some fun. But dude, did you want to introduce yourself, Atlantic?
Sure. How's it going, everybody? I'm Atlantic. Make CNFT content, just like Block is hot up here. One day hopefully get on his level. But right now we're just going to be going over some Wolves of Rome content. I do know a lot about the game, so it's kind of a joke that I'm an expert. But I play a lot. I don't play as much as I used to, but I used to play quite often. I play with Ken a lot too, who is our voted #1 right now for the tournament. I think it's 60-40 odds right now in Ken's favor. So we'll see. We'll see what Sammy Turbo has to offer here.
We'll see. Yeah, and I don't think that the match has actually started yet.
Okay. If
Oh,
it
it's actually started. Oh
okay.
no, it's not.
Nope.
Oh,
Uh
it,
we'll see.
they're
Well,
teasing us, man.
yeah. So you wanted to know kind of a little bit of the basics. We could go over that until the match starts.
Yeah, no, that would be perfect. For those that are, I guess, listening in that don't know a ton about the game either, what's kind of like the basics, the overview of Wolves Room?
So, oh man, I was gonna see if I could share my screen, but then I just realized it's not gonna show me the board. But that's okay. I'll exit out of that. I won't share it. So the way that it works is you have your board, you have your health. So each player starts with 30 health, and then you're gonna start with 1 mana, and then that's like your elixir cost or what you use to place down cards. There's going to be mana that can be used for spells only, and then mana that can be used for your monsters or your creatures. And the mana that can be used for your creatures is going to be the left mana, which is a darker blue, and then a on the right
Hold
side of
up, they're saying the match has started,
what?
but it's showing. Yeah,
Um.
maybe it's going now. There we
Oh,
go.
okay. So yeah, where you see
I
that
think
dark
we're good now.
blue do you see that dark blue on the right where it says 1?
I do.
Okay, so that's what's going to be used for your creature cost. And once your turn ends, you can hold up to 3 of the light mana in the light blue, and the mana from the blue will go over to the light blue if you don't use it. But it'll cap at 3. It can't go any higher. So we'll see how they play. They're both using Zenobia, which Zenobia is kind of a rush strat deck, or at least that's how a lot of players are playing it, especially Ken. So you have these 3 cards that you start with on the board, and as you can see, the first round is kind of rough. Not everybody can have a 1-card cost in the first hand, so a lot of players skip it. And then you can see as that 1 mana went over to the light blue as well when both players did that. So man, they're moving fast paced. This is a Legion Smith that they just put down, which means any soldier that's played gives it Challenger. And what Challenger does is when you attack, you get to choose who you attack. So unlike other games, you don't actually get to choose who you attack. So you attack, and then they choose, the defender chooses which unit they want to defend with, if at all.
It's actually
So,
super interesting because I've had experience playing like Hearthstone in the past, and I was talking to Hoplite, and he was saying it's a little similar, and it looks like there's a lot of similarities. But yeah, that's definitely something I haven't heard before.
so he just got, is that Call of the Equites? Okay. So he just gave all of these cards Challenger. And what Call of the Equites does is it places down 3 Equiate Knights, which for every soldier that you have out in the field, it gives it +1 attack. So this is going to kill anything that it attacks right now, pretty much. You'll see in a sec. It should go to it. He's the attacker. The Equiate Knight shouldn't be at a 1/1 right now. They should be at like a 5/1. I don't know why it's not showing that on our end. It's probably showing it for their end, but this is a spectator view. So I'm wondering if that's the issue there. But as you can see, they just killed off the battle worn wolves that had 4 health. Actually, one of them lived though, so maybe it was only doing 3. It is hard to see. I don't know why it didn't show that. I don't know why it didn't show the damage increase. But anyways, that's why it did so much damage to those battle worn wolves. And the goal of this deck is to get these starter cards off of the board because you can't use them to defend or attack. So those aristocrats on each side, that's why they both wanted to put out the battle worn wolf first or as early as possible, because each round you have to deal 3 damage to one of your units, which is really good for the other deck as well because you can get off your regenerate ability, which is what this has, which is why it can keep dealing 3 damage over and over and over again because it'll regenerate its health at the end unless it dies. So instead of using it on itself, they're using it on their aristocrats to try to clear their board as fast as possible. When this happens, you see the Zenobia card up in the top right and the bottom right. Those are the challenger cards. And when you get rid of all of the aristocrats, your challenger will level up. And Zenobia is the only challenger that has 2 levels or 3 levels. So you'll get to the first level after this, and then the third level, which I think just straight up wins. To get to the third level is really hard. You need to have like 7 characters out in the field, and then there's like something else, and Zenobia. But yeah, it's basically like an Exodia. You'll instantly win if you get that, if you get her leveled up all the way. But it's very, very difficult. So people actually use this method to just kind of rush, because you'll also see when they finally get rid of those aristocrats, they're going to get 3 more cards up on the board each, which if you do it very early on, then you can get like a 3 or 4, card run real quick early on. And that's why people, kind of view it as a rush deck.
Nice, that's cool. So this is mainly the meta right now. It looks like in the beginning, they were pretty much doing mirror plays. And
Yes.
also, if you're listening in and watching the stream, feel free to comment stuff too, because like I said, I'm not super familiar with the game. I was just I helped put this whole tournament together. So if anyone has good inputs too, seems like you're an expert though, Atlantic. So
Yeah, I'm happy for now because they only have, I think, 4 or 5 decks, and only each deck has like 20, I think, cards that kind of attach to that class of deck. So it's kind of easy to get into the game now. I think with like Hearthstone and other big games, they have hundreds, sometimes thousands of cards, and trying to figure out which cards to play with which decks is really, really challenging. So being able to pick up a game in its infancy, I really enjoy that, because as they add more cards, I don't have to do a bunch of homework. I can just kind of like play casually and learn it.
no, it's
But
cool. I need to take the time to like really go and play some games. Like, it was cool. I was talking to Hoplite. We actually managed to get this whole tournament going together, and we got some cool prizes for it. So, Stag Alliance joined in, Goombles joined in, Ape Society. I think there's even a Stag Portal in here. So the actual prizes for this tournament is huge.
that's
And then on top of that, this is just like a 1 round thing. So this is a pretty big game here.
yeah, and there's no timer, so oh no, somebody DC'd.
Oh no.
The devs, I think, can fix this. I think they can put the game back in the state that it was in. We'll have to see how they play that out, but it looks like one of the players DC'd.
Dude, it's funny too. Hoplite was literally telling me the game is smooth, and then the moment that we start streaming it is the moment something is gonna happen.
Yeah, it could be something too with the game could be maybe still going on, but the spectator DC'd. I don't know. We'll have to figure out what happened. But it is
Yeah, it
much
looks like this
smoother.
is the live right now.
Yeah. So like when I first played the game, there was like no bugs, no glitches at all, but there were no animations. So then they added in animations, then a lot of things started breaking. And I won't say no bugs. There were just like very little. It was very playable. After they added in the animations, a lot of bugs came. And they've just been bug fixing for like 2 to 3 months now, just grinding bug fixes. And every time I jump in the Discord, like every few days, it'll be like new patches here, new patches here. So I'm just like, they're really working on it, and I love it.
Dude, yeah, it's kind of crazy just how much has already been done with this project. like a lot of NFT projects out there, like they haven't really built that much, and they have a fully functioning game, which is super cool. Oh, Kyle was saying they're just gonna restart
Okay.
the match. Oh yeah, Sammy disconnected.
Dang.
Now, was Sammy winning when this happened? Is this just gonna start where it had left off, or is it like restarting the whole game?
It would be very hard to say at that point who was winning. It was still very early. It was probably like round 3 or 4. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of fair to restart. Nobody really knows who had the edge on that one, I'd say. We could go
So it
back
was
and
pretty
maybe I
close
can make an
overall.
argument, but yeah. Sometimes too, you'll have like a bunch of cards on the board, and you're just like, dude, there's no way this guy's gonna win. And then he'll just get like the craziest combination, and he'll be right back in it, if not winning. And you're just like, oh, never mind. So it is really hard to say that early.
So like what's the big meta right now? They're both playing like are they playing like a rush deck? Is it more of like a long-term deck? You know, what's
So
the overall meta?
when I first started playing, Zenobia wasn't the meta, but it was good. You know, it was always a very good deck. And after I came back, it seemed like 70% of people were using Zenobia. So I have to assume this is definitely the meta. And their cards haven't changed. They have changed a lot of card art, but he's notorious for Zenobia. He achieved like a 20. Oh my God.
20 win streak, jeez.
Sammy is a beast. I don't know why people are saying this is 60-40 in Ken's favor. I don't know, a 20 win streak? That's wild.
So is it
Yeah,
like a pretty tight-knit community too, where everyone kind of knows each other and and just like,
for
oh, do you
now,
want to play a match? And yeah, that's sick.
it's really cool because when I first got into the game, like I have like an addictive personality, so like I just really liked the game, and I was like, I just want to play as much as possible. Like somebody play me, and it was really hard to find people in the Discord because you have to match up and all that. But after they added the events, which is what we're hosting the final event now, or the final for that event, you can kind of just create a match and just wait for somebody to join you, which you can do regardless. But I think the events kind of draw in more hype because there's something to actually win. And that's what people, I think, really are looking for. They're looking to not play a game, they want to enjoy themselves. But if you can play a game that you enjoy and make some money, like, of course you're going to pick the game that you can make some money off of, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like these are no joke prizes either. I think the Magenta Portal Pass from Stag Alliance is 8,000 ADA, or like one sold for 8 or 9,000 ADA recently. So looks like they're back on though. So Zenobia is the main meta, but they're also saying that Coco
Oh, the
or
cockatoo.
Cockatoo as well.
Yeah.
That's a good deck as well.
Yeah, so the way the cockatoo works is there's different cards that you'll play. So right now they're playing, I don't know, I want to call them like warrior cards, but I don't know. They're like this golden border color, and you can see every card has that golden border. And you don't know what I'm talking about because there's not going to be another card I can show you that doesn't have it, maybe because they're both playing the same deck. But the cockatoos really work well with the neutral cards, and every time you place one down, you summon another cockatoo up to 6 or 7 times, something like that. And then once you hit your seventh, maybe it's even 8 cockatoo spawned, then your cockatoo like leader, he upgrades. And when he upgrades, he's an absolute unit. He is so hard to take down. He fortifies the entire board, which means every damage that you deal to one of the monsters does 1 damage less. So if you're only dealing 1 damage, you're not dealing any damage. So Fortified is a really strong ability paired with other cards that do certain things. And it also gives a +1/+1 to every card on the board while it's out. So it's a really, really powerful card. Or deck, I should say. But yeah, I should be focusing on this match. It's so hard.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's going on in the match? Catch us up to speed.
Yeah, so he played Call of the Equiates. He got his 3 Equiate Knights. They only have 1 HP, so you can defend with anything pretty much to stop it. But if there's a lot of stuff out on the board, they're going to deal a lot of attack and probably kill you. So Ken is now using that ability that I was talking about for that card on himself because he's no longer able to use it on the aristocrats. It's kind of not important. Sammy plays another Call of the Equiate. So he has 2 of those in his deck, as most people do have 2 of every card that they have in their deck, just to try to make it consistent. He calls that with his own Call of the Equiates. So having these cards out is really good for, I guess, Sammy, because he's going to be able to deal a bunch of damage because the Equiate Knights are going to boost each other. But you can always just block with the other Equiate Knight, and they're just going to kill each other. It's going to be a wash. So hard to say who has the advantage right here. Looking at Elixir, it's also very even, but you do want to pay attention to that. The two things that I like to pay attention to are monsters on the board, which looks like Ken is winning barely by 1. Not really a big deal. Well, actually, no, he's winning by 3 because those aristocrats up there don't do anything. So Ken's winning by a lot of monsters on the board, but again, that's just one part. He's losing an elixir, but it was just his turn. And he's losing in cards, like cards in his hand, but only now it's tied. So those are kind of like what I look at. Like right now, it's way too soon to say, but continue to watch out for who has the elixir advantage and who has the cards in hand advantage, because when you run out of cards, it's really hard to make your way back. So Ken's going out on an all-out attack here, and the order does matter sometimes. I don't think it mattered this time, but the order that you attack in can matter. So like, let's say you have a unit that gives everybody +2/+2. If you play that a card first to attack and then it dies, then the rest of your attack loses that +2. So as you can see, the Equiate Knights are just washing each other, which is what I predicted would happen. On defense is pretty much best you can ask for. Sammy's kind of in trouble here unless he can get rid of those aristocrat wolves. Actually, he might be saving them for another time because you will get those 3 I think they're Palmeranian Slayers or whatever they're called. Palmeran Slayers. You'll get 3 of those cards. Ken has 1 of them in the middle. When all 3 aristocrats die, that's how you spawn 3 of those Slayers.
So you'd say Ken is in the lead right now?
Looks
like everyone's cheering for Ken to win.
Yeah, I said that earlier, and then I just realized, though, if they do kill those 2 aristocrats and get a bunch of cards on the board real quick, they could have an answer for a lot of what Ken has right now. Ken is in the lead by cards in hand. I think he has about 2. Oh, but he plays Avarice, which gives him cards, cost him elixir. So Ken's still in the lead by... It's too early to say. It's so early. A lot is happening. Like, it looks one-sided over and over and over again. They're doing some pretty crazy moves. They have this Hungry Raptor out there too that's really good because every time he attacks, he gains +1/+1. So you're incentivized to want to attack as often as possible with those Raptors. When you defend, though, you don't get the +1/+1. So Ken, again, going all-out attack. We haven't seen too many spells. I know Ken likes to save his spells, as do I. And he's really good at using spells in unorthodox ways, like damaging his own unit so that another spell won't kill him. Ken's a crafty guy. I would love to say the same about Sammy. I just don't know him that well.
How many games did they have to play to even be in this position right now?
A lot. They had 600 points each, and you gain, if you look at it, it's 6 points if you win the first match against somebody, 4 points if you win the second match, and 3 points if you win the third. So that's a maximum of 13 points per player. So 600 and whatever that Ken had, divide that by 13, and that's assuming that he beat every single player 3 times in a row. Yeah, he played a lot of matches. I almost beat him once too. I came back, and it was like literally last round. We both had 1 HP, and he beat me the last round. It was crazy. It was probably the most like clutch match I've ever had. Played around 60+ matches. Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's insane.
Yeah. This was over the course of...
So when does like the mana cap? Does it cap at 9, which is where they're at right now? It caps at 10.
Yeah, And so also you'll see Zenobia, the boss or the leader card. I always forget the word. And the top right and bottom right, you can see that Ken's cost 5, but Sammy's cost 3. That's because Ken played his and then it died. So every time that it dies, it adds 2 more mana cost to it. And eventually, this card will be unplayable. So once it hits 9, then it'll go to 11, and you can't play anything past 11 or past 10.
Makes sense. So it's not like Hearthstone where like when you run out of cards, you just take damage each turn, but instead it just increases their cost.
So I'm not actually sure what happens if you run out of cards in your deck. I don't think I've ever gotten that far. But if you run out of like mana, hold on, my speakers are doing something weird. There we go. So if if it dies enough times, then you just can't play it. So it's essentially useless at that point. But it will have meant that it died that many times, having gotten use at some point in the game. And he just used an obliterate on that card that was +2/+2 for everything out there. When you run out of cards, you get damage that starts with 1 and doubles each round. Oh wow.
So it's like Hearthstone in that way, yeah.
Okay. What's going on, Benji? So right now he did get up his Slayers, but Ken is still in a good position. He's going to sacrifice his Battle-Worn Wolf because it doesn't matter anymore. He already used his ability enough times. He doesn't have to worry about spells right now because Sammy has 0 elixir, so he doesn't have to worry about that. I think he should put up a Hungry Raptor against the Slayer. The one with 3/3 is the one I would play. And then okay, he doesn't want to put up anything. That's interesting. I don't know why he did that. Because it's going to be his turn to attack next turn. So he would have wanted, in my opinion, to kill off that Slayer and that Wolf. But he knows the Wolf isn't really a threat. But he can still block and deal 1 damage.
It looks like Benji used to be the old champ of the game.
Benji won the first ever tournament. Congratulations to Benji. Oh, okay, so he just played this 8 mana card that deals 2 to everything. This includes your health and their health and all cards, including your cards. And then he just played the Black Swordsman, which deals 3 to all enemy units, but not health. So this is going to wipe the board for Ken's side, except for the Architect. The Architect will live with 2 HP. Clean incoming. Oh, yeah. He just took out all those cards. And maybe that's why he didn't want to use... Okay, so I see now why he didn't want to attack with the Hungry Raptor, because Architect would have killed him. He would have killed himself. But he couldn't have known now that it also would have... He would have died anyways. So Ken is debating on using a card here that I'm assuming, yeah, deals 3 to his own unit and then deals 4 to the Spirit. So because the Black Swordsman was going to kill that unit anyways, that's why he decided to sacrifice it using a fast spell and kill his other unit, dealing 4. And the Architect has Regenerate, so you can see it's also back to 7 health already. And he's going to play it.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, there's going to be a spell here. There's got to be. Sammy knows that he's going to play that and that he's going to die. There's no way he would play that for no reason. He has a slow spell. He has a... it deals 1 damage, if I had to guess. I just forget what it's called. Noble's Fortune, which I think is what somebody's using right now. Okay, yeah. So Noble's Fortune is a card that you also get when the Palmeranian Slayers die, and it deals 1 damage. It's a slow spell, and it also allows you to draw a card after you deal the damage. So yeah, I was right. He's going to use his Noble Fortune and try to kill the Architect. Ken is going to counter with an Adrenaline Rush, which gives it +2. And then Sammy's going to counter it again with a Quick Strike. And the way that those work is they work in succession. So because he did the Noble's Fortune first, it's going to go last. Because they did the Adrenaline Rush second, it's going to go second. It's in the middle. and then the quick strike is going to go off first. So the quick strike actually killed it before the adrenaline rush could go off and before the deal 1 could go off, which, was the end goal to kill that thing anyways, so didn't really change too much. But he forced Ken to use a adrenaline rush.
So what do you think the position is right now? It's Kyle was saying it's a tight game. Do you think they're pretty much even?
Yeah, I would actually say Sammy's in the lead right now because of multiple things here. Mostly cards in hand.
So while you're explaining that, Atlantic, I want to see in the chat if who they think is ahead right now.
Okay.
But go for it.
I would just say Sammy based off of cards in hand. You can't really go off of health. I would say almost ever, unless it's like really low and they have a way to maybe deal 1 damage here, 2 damage there, and just end it. But I would say Sammy's in the lead. They both have. It's like literally so tight right now. Oh, okay. So Ken just said, "Let me get some cards back." He used a Ken slight. I don't know about that. I don't know. He's also got less or more.
I have 2 for Ken, 1 for Sammy.
I don't think so. I think Sammy's in the lead. Also, based off of leader, like his leader costs 2 mana less because it hasn't died yet. Ken has a unit in play and it's a good one, but Legion Smith is only good in certain scenarios. So giving Challenger to this Battle-Worn Wolf isn't beneficial at all, in my opinion. It can only deal 1 damage, and most of the time Battle-Worn Wolf is going to be at 1 HP, so he's just going to be ready to die. Battle-Worn Wolf, after certain points, is kind of just used to defend, and I would say I would keep that card around just to defend. Sammy is down 2 obliterates. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Is that a spell that what's that do?
So Obliterate is a very expensive, it's a 7 cost spell that kills anything permanent, or like it just kills it straight up. No, you can't do anything to defend it, at least not now in this meta and in the cards that they have. So having an Obliterate is great. Yeah, okay, you guys are right. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Kyle just switched over to Sammy though.
Yeah.
So can you only use Obliterate twice?
Yeah.
Is there only 2 in your whole entire deck?
Yeah, so it's 30 cards in the deck. Most players make a balanced 15 card deck, each with 2 of those cards. Do you know what I'm saying? So like each card, there's 2 of it in that deck. And you can't put any more than 2. But yeah, obliterates are amazing. He did use both of those obliterates on his Legatus's, which are the +2/+2 units, and they have regenerate. So he did use them very wisely. He used them on very good cards. So yes, he doesn't have Obliterate anymore, but also Ken doesn't have his Legatuses.
Dude, this game is so in depth.
Yeah, it's so crazy to try to explain
crazy.
everything. Like, yeah, it just sounds like me vomiting words. I have so much to say. But
how many cards are there in the game now? Is this something they release new cards like every month or?
No, I think when they first released the game, there were 4 decks, and now, or there were 4. What are they called? Legends, I think. Legends. The cards in the top right and bottom right, and you base your deck off of those legends. So I think there were 4, and then they added 5. But ever since they added the other one, it's always been, this. I think it's been like 3 or 4 months the same cards. But they will be having.
I saw someone mention the Lich. Wasn't that banned or something like that? Is that what Hoplite was saying?
They said that you could use the Lich deck, but they begged you, please don't, because there's a few errors in the code with the Lich deck still. There's a lot of effects that happen. There's units that are constantly dying. There's dying effects that happen. So one thing will die, it'll spawn another, and then like another ability will pop off, and then somebody will counter it with a spell, and then the game just like freaks out, doesn't know what to do, and it just kind of crashes. They've come a far way though. Like I've played a lot of Lich decks, and it only craps out probably like 20% of the time now, and before it was like 80% of the time. So like I said, they're constantly making fixes. I'm very happy with the fixes that they've made, but yeah, they wanted for this stream to not have the possibility of it crapping out, which makes sense. Promotion is near. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So what they're talking about, you can see Sammy has his promotion meter all the way filled up. That's that pink bar next to above the attack symbol, and it's completely full. You can see Ken's is about 1/3 of the way. When that gets filled, then all he has to do is put, I want to say, 7 units on the board, including his Zenobia, and then he will win the game. So that's also a reason. Oh, now his Legatus is up. Dude, I'm telling you. Oh, obliterate.
Oh,
Okay.
does he have the obliterate or something to
Yep.
instant kill that?
Yep. That's what he. So
Did he just do that?
Ken is he's known for carrying spells the entire match just for certain cards. Like he will have himself a rough time with certain cards just to save one card for that one card. So that's what he did. He saved that obliterate for that Legatus, which is also what Sammy did, and it's very smart. You know, you want to use your.
They're already saying Sammy is the winter. Is this GG?
I think so. I mean,
You
it's
think
not
so?
over. It's not over by any means, but Sammy's looking pretty good.
So what's Sammy's position right now? Like, what does Ken have potentially that could get him out of this?
Ken needs some stronger units. His Legatus would have made that possible, but then he used most of the obliterates. So, and he's used a lot of spells. Both of them have. So I really think Ken needs to get some strong units on the board because Sammy's not going to have too many spells to be able to handle it. So he's going to have to sacrifice his units. And if he has to keep sacrificing units, then he can't win through the promotion. Yeah, Ken does have some stuff up his sleeve. See, all right, good. This is what he has, a challenger card here, and that's that silver card that I was talking about. But he has, oh my god, he has harpoon throw. But Ken does this. This is what I was talking about. Ken does this. He's gonna damage his unit and kill the bonfire spirit, so the harpoon throw won't work. But what does he do? Is that a quick strike? He's gonna do the same thing. Okay, so Ken's going to kill himself here on accident, actually. But Ken made him use 2 spells to kill that one card. So that's still a win, in my opinion. So what he would have done is he would have used a card that if you have 6 or more health, then that card is called Harpoon Throw, and it automatically kills that card. It's a slow cost as well, or a slow spell. So you can't use it whenever you want. You can only use it when it's your turn. And Ken was going to, and he just got the same card again. That's crazy. Is he going to deal 3 to deal? He is. So he's not going to be able to kill it. I don't know if I would have done it right then. It's a fast spell. You could have done that whenever. I would have saved that spell and used it like in a hidden way. Because now you know that it's already been played. You can anticipate for the 2 damage coming in. Yeah, this is a very good game.
This is definitely a hell of a finals match. It seems super close.
This is exactly what I think Ken needed. Yeah, so he's going to want to kill the Zenobia. And that's so crazy that it's still a 3 cost. Because without Zenobia on the board, you know, he can't win through the promo cost. But he also already used both of his Call of the Equiates. So he can't just spawn a bunch of cards and win. It's going to be very difficult, I think, for Sammy to win here. And he only has 3 cards in his hand. Man, this is crazy. This might be Ken favored. Again, too early to say, but I do think Ken is
I was
now.
about to say, let's do a revote. Let's do a repoll. Ken or Sammy in the chat.
Yeah,
Are you leaning on Ken?
I think so, but why would you? What was that spell? Why did that just happen? Did he just use +3/+2? I don't know why it showed that. Normally, you'd want to do that only if you were going to die or prevent it to kill something. Sometimes. Oh, okay. He might want to use it now. No? Wait, what? Okay, so he did use it already. It just didn't show us. So this fish card right here should be 8 or 9. Yeah, it's 9/1 is what I believe it is. 9 attack, 1 health. So he should be attacking right now. Ken should be. And if I was him, with the 9-1, I would go ahead and kill... Sammy already played the Wolfmaster. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Wolfmaster summons 2 wolves, or maybe 1 wolf, something like that. So it can spawn a bunch of cards really quickly and get the promotion, but yeah, he doesn't have those or the Equiate, so I don't think he's going to be able to win by promo. So yeah, he's actually going to sack his Drake to kill the Black Swordsman, which makes sense. Black Swordsman's the threat up on the board. Man. Oh, it's okay. That was just an okay play. He was kind of forced to do it. He might not have another card to play. You really only want to play the Architect if it's your only move, or if it's going to kill a lot of things on his side, or weaken it to prepare for something else.
You have to be getting pretty low on cards here. How many cards do they have left? Is there a counter somewhere?
If you can, because I know we're watching the stream through a YouTube stream, so we won't be able to, but if we were actually viewing them in game, like you were the actual viewer, you could hover over their deck, and maybe the podcasters that are hosting this game can hear us. But if they hover over the deck, you'll be able to see how many cards each has. Hey, let's go. So, okay. So the
5 and
reason
1, yeah. So they're pretty much out.
Yeah, the reason why Sammy only has 1 is because he used either more of his spell drawing cards. So the card that deals 1 and draws a card, he probably used more of those. And he might also have used one of the 5 spell costs that allow you to draw 2 cards. So that's why Ken has more cards. And it may actually be Ken plotting to not use those cards so that he doesn't get damage dealt to him first. So Ken might be
Yeah, I was
stalling.
about to say, I think that's super interesting, right? Because he only has 1 more card to draw, and then he's going to take 1 damage, and then 2 damage, and then 4 damage, right? So
Yeah,
Sammy might be in trouble just for that.
that was his last card. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. This might be one of those fights that you win to a technicality, you know? He was getting clocked. You know, he got the roundhouse kick to the jaw. He got the uppercut. Boom. He was bleeding. He was wobbly, but then the dude tripped and fell on a banana peel or something. We'll have to see. 10-3. So they both have max elixir, and both. So yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Is you can only have 3 on the right side, and those are
Is
spells.
that a purple bar not going to come into play because they don't have enough cards or something? You were saying?
Yeah. So it'll get the upgrade, which is what put his card, Sammy's card, at 1-8. So it'll give his Legion or Legend more health with the upgrade, but he won't be able to win through the promotion. So to win through the promotion, you need to get all the way to the last upgrade and then have 7 units on the board. And then you automatically win. But
They
I don't
don't.
know.
They don't have the ability to have 7 units, right?
Right. I don't think they'll be able to do that. So there's no point to attack. Sammy's out of cards. Yeah, there's just no point to attack, so he doesn't. He just skips his turn. And okay, that's a really good card.
How does Sammy win here?
Well, he can spam attack on the next turn. If Ken doesn't have enough cards, then he can only block one of them. So if he blocks the Architect for 4, he's still going to get dealt 1 and 3 by Praetorians. So that's still going to deal 4 damage. And he won't die quick enough from not having enough cards. So Ken really needs more units on the board right now, or he's going to lose. Ken should have played his Zenobia, unless he has other cards to play next turn or something. Because now he can attack straight away, and he should, and he will. Okay, so he's going to deal 4 damage here no matter what. Oh, and if Sammy does have a skull throw, that's over. Oh, wait. Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe. He might have some, Ken might have some spells to counteract the death for the skull throw. Oh, he has another obliterate he's been saving. Interesting. So he's going to get dealt 1 damage. And he kills the Praetorians. Oh, no. That was... Oh, wait, does he... Wait, how... What? Oh, he's going to... Oh, that's not going to kill him, though. That's not going to kill him, so it's not going to deal 4. The way that Skull Throw works is you can choose who you want to attack, and then if you kill that unit, deal 4 damage to anything. It's not going to deal the 4, but what it will do is take it down to 3 HP to where Praetorians will kill the Architect. And if that happens, Ken might just lose. This is a really good play regardless. Oh, but Ken has a spell. Dude, this is insane. Does he have his own Skull Throw? Right. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening, Benji. He has his own Skull Throw. Wait. What?
This is getting crazy.
What? That did not work correctly. What? And that... I don't think that worked right. There shouldn't have been damage dealt to Ken because the Skull Throw didn't... Oh, wait, did it? Yeah, the Skull Throw did kill him, actually. Wait. Yeah, the Skull Throw did kill him, so it should have. I believe, yeah. Yeah. Okay, but how did it... I
So
still think...
Sammy won this one then?
Maybe. I still think Ken should have 2 HP, not 1. Why did Zenobia now fall? Oh, because he doesn't have any cards. I'm confused as hell, though. I really thought... Wait, did they both lose health when one player's out of cards? That wouldn't... I shouldn't... I don't feel like he should have 1 HP. I need to go back and... Oh, wait. He should. Because of the other card. So, yeah, this... Oh, yo, what's up, J-Hub? What's up, homie? We had J-Hub actually on the stream on Wednesday. That was really cool.
They're saying Ken won? Wow. With 1
Yeah,
health?
he might.
Why? Because he's out of cards, so he's going to take 2 damage when the turn ends, and he can't deal 1 damage this turn because he has a card out? Or, like, how?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I mean, if Ken has another card that he can place down, he can also just attack and win that way. Because
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, all Ken has to do is attack. He'll have to defend. It doesn't matter. Like, he wins regardless. I think Ken's probably a little curious to see if he can win based off of not having any cards, but he might not want to ruin it and, screw something up. But there's literally nothing he can do. If he attacked, he could have defended it. So, yeah, GG. And then he's probably using a Noble's Fortune just because. He doesn't have to, though. He can just
He's
let
got
it
to
end.
get the flex kill at the end.
Yeah, I think he's saving it just because. But yeah, I'm like 9,000% sure Ken is our victor, man. Wow. That was the best match we could have asked for, by the way. That was insane.
Yeah, I know. I wish I knew a little bit more about all the cards, but yeah, I don't think it could have gone closer than 1 health and 2 health.
Yeah. Ken
It's
is
nuts.
really, really good early game, but he's also really good late game. Like, that was crazy. All those skull throws too, like.
So did it end or did it? Oh, what is Ken? Oh, there it goes.
There it goes, yeah. Divine being. God blessed.
GG. Ken is the official winner of like 15 different prizes.
Congrats.
And also, I mean, there were a lot of people that Hoplite was telling me, I mean, there were a lot of people that got a ton of matches in, but just didn't get into the final 2. So shout out to those people as well that were just like 1 or 2 spots off. But yeah, it looked like an awesome game.
Man, that is crazy. We're gonna have Ken and the runner-up on here, or are we gonna have only Ken?
I don't know. Well, let's see. Let me tell them how to join. Yeah, so if you're still tuning in, I think the Ken. Oh, I think Ken's right here. Yo, what up, Ken? Can you hear us?
Yo,
What's up,
was that
man?
the craziest game or what? Was that the craziest game or what?
Bro, they kept
Oh,
asking me like who was winning, like who do you think's winning? I'm like, man, this is so hard.
it must have went back and forth so many times.
It did.
Yeah, we were asking the chat like who they think
Yeah,
is gonna win, and it was like literally back and forth the whole entire time.
yeah. Oh, it's too good, too good. Um, is there a way for me to show my?
Yeah, see in the settings, you should be able to add your video if that's what you were trying to do.
Yeah, let me try that real quick again.
And Sammy, if you can hear us, yeah, like before you actually join in. Oh, there you go, Ken.
What's up,
Yeah.
man?
Hey.
So how does it feel to win, I guess, the second tournament of Wolves of
Uh,
Rome?
Yeah, I mean that I'll correct a little bit of the phrasing because I know what you mean. The second tournament is what I won, but it almost sounds like I won two. I only won one tournament. The first one went to our great Benji in the community. That was a really really good match between Benji and Neek as well. And oh, this entire week, or I guess it was just a little over a week, has been such a crazy ride. I think everyone within the Wolves of Rome community would probably be able to kind of say the same thing. I would assume they all have the same opinion. And the reason why is because it felt like more of an insane grind leading up to the tournament. I think Atlantic, you kind of popped in a few times throughout the actual point stage, but it was really fun. We saw a lot of new players come in and check out the game from some of the different communities. So it was nice being able to onboard them, being able to teach them, seeing them even take some games off of the veterans. Like that was really fun. And yeah, I think I'm kind of speechless. I was not expecting to win that match, and it just went in my favor, I suppose, in the end. And I'm sure everyone else that was watching enjoyed it just as much as Sammy and I when we were actually competing.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Sammy.
Yo, what
How's it
up,
going?
Sammy? Welcome. Heck of a match.
Good
What a
game,
match,
Sammy.
yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
Yeah, congrats, Ken. It was an awesome match.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I agree. It was an awesome match. I think like there couldn't have been a better way for us to wrap this up. It was a nail biter till the very end. I think
Yes,
I
yes.
forgot about the fact that you were out of cards, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't have to worry about anything. But there was a couple of turns. I think if we had done things slightly differently, potentially the game might have turned out,
Yes, for sure.
yeah, in a different way as well. So
Yes,
I'll
yes.
probably want to rewatch through it and try to study and think about exactly what moves I was playing. But yeah, good game, good game.
Yes, it was indeed a very, very close game. And maybe there were some mistakes. I mean, it was at the end one damage that made the difference, one HP. And yes, it could have been played different, but it was just so close and so nice to play against you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know this. Maybe some of the viewers that are watching that have been in our community throughout the actual point stage, I think might have known that Sammy actually wasn't able to play in the first day where we were allowed to record points. And it was just insane seeing Sammy's run up. I think the entire community, you could tell they were scared out of their minds because the moment he came in, he was just going on a crazy undefeated win streak. I had a really crazy win streak as well at the very, very start of the tournament. I think I went like 20 something matches undefeated. But I believe Sammy got up to 29 games undefeated. So props to him. Uh, Thank you for scaring the hell out of CD. If people, again, he goes by floppy disk. Some people call him CD, some people call him CD triple C. But anyways, it was hilarious seeing all of the players in our community see him kind of stepping up and climbing up the ranks as every single day went by. And Sammy, I'm sure you had fun grinding it out as well, and trying to take out the individuals that might have felt comfortable in the top 4 or whatever, the upper echelon of the top 10 leaderboard. But it was really fun just seeing everyone have to really bring out their full competitive spirit, because yeah, you wouldn't have
I
gotten
ran
this
a quarter
far.
mile and walked home.
Yes, it was actually the first and the second day I did not play. I played on the second day like 4 matches. It was pretty tough to get you guys on the top because you guys did not stop to play, and
Yeah.
I had to grind like crazy. And I think I lost probably 4 or 5 matches in the whole tournament. And it was now 2 against you, including
Yeah,
this in the final.
you had 2 against me, yeah.
Yes, and I think it was 1 against Triple C, and one of was against one of the team members. Actually, it was Hamster.
Yes.
He beat me
On the
with
last
my
day too, right? I
yeah.
think it was on the last day that Hamster took a
Yes. It could have been the difference between the number 1 spot actually. So this loss did actually count heavily, because it would have been a tie, I think, if I'd won the last match against Hamster. But so, yes, it was an amazing tournament. Yes.
Yeah, it was really well, I think, set up. I think this was a new kind of format for the way to run tournaments going forward. Very different than the initial one that went through the entire tournament bracket. And honestly, I think all of us in the community are super thankful to you, Block, for hosting this. And we've just been having so much fun having something to fight for. I'm sure you guys knew this ahead of time when you were coming up, creating this and hosting this event, and even thinking about the prizes to add. But when you're competing for something and something's on the line, it brings up the full competitive spirit in all of us. So it was, we enjoyed it thoroughly.
Dude, I'm glad that you guys had fun, and we were just a small part of it. You know, I had reached out to Kyle a while ago, wanting to do some sort of tournament where, because I knew what you guys were building, but I was like, oh, if we could incorporate Jelly Cube somehow. And then me and Kyle started talking. I was like, you know what, man? Like, what if I just hit up some other projects to join in too? And it was cool to get support from Stag. They donated a pass. You know, all these guys donated, and I hope that some new players were able to see your guys' tournament and gave you guys something to fight for as well. And I've got to go in and play a couple of games. It looked a lot of fun, and it seems like there is a ton of stuff that you have to know, at least at this upper level. And just seeing you guys play like over 50, 60 games to even be in this position is awesome.
100%, 100%. I'm sure Sammy can attest to the same thing. We would love to have you here. Come drop by in our Discord. Anyone that's viewing, the live stream, even afterwards, come hang out in our Discord. I think it's awesome the amount of support that we currently see, not just in the Wolves of Rome team that's willing to take time to onboard, walk you through the game, play games with you, to teach you, coach you even through the voice channels. But we're seeing the actual players in the community actually do the same things, take time out of their day to play games, sit in voice channels, actually walk players through different tips and strategies, share deck lists. It's such an amazing community to be a part of. So I think, definitely come hang out, and we'd love to kind of show you the ropes and help you learn. Honestly, I think even this match, it was a mirror matchup, and it was really exciting for sure. But when you check out some of the different commanders that are available to play, it's really neat. There's so many different types of gameplay styles. There's rush decks, there's control-ish decks, there's ones where you have to sacrifice your own units. There's a lot of neat different components, and this is only the beginning. I think this is what we consistently hear in the Discord channel as well, is in the Discord server is that there's still so many more commanders to come. There's so many more cards to come. This is only the very, very beginning alpha version, and even then, all of us are enjoying it so much.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too.
Awesome. Oh, go for it, Atlantic.
Sorry about that. You were gonna play your Necro deck, the deck
Yeah.
that's kind of like the deck that's revolves around, you know, killing units or having units die and then having their dying effects go off and stuff like that. And then last second they were like, hey, we just really don't want anybody to do that. So if you're cool with that, you know, could you just want to let you guys know not to do that? And you were like, yep.
No, but Atlantic, honestly, even this, like, this is a cool, you know, behind the scenes information we're sharing with the viewers. But yeah, there was a call that we were having right before this tournament started, before the live stream began, where we were just getting some instructions from the team on exactly how this tournament was going to go. Till the very last minute, I didn't actually know fully which deck I was going to play, but I had prepared a Lich deck and I had prepared a Zenobia deck. I was definitely not going to be playing my Cockatoo because you know, anytime I played Sammy or any other really, really good Zenobia player, my win rate with that matchup was just so poor. So I think I learned, fortunately, throughout this long tournament that there are certain matchups that just aren't favorable. And I was honestly playing a mind game with myself because I was hoping I would play a mind game with Sammy. It was really funny when the team was like, you know, there's some still technical issues with the Lich deck. We don't want to run into those kind of stuff. So if we can avoid playing that deck, then great. So I don't know for sure that I would have pulled it out, but I was at least hoping that Sammy would have had to tinker with his deck, maybe add a couple of cards that would give me an advantage if I did play Zenobia, or if I played Lich, then, you know, I guess who knows how things would have went. But it's neat because, again, like, you know, what I'm sharing now, I'm sure Sammy can share some of his maybe sneak peeks on what he was thinking right leading up to this event. But every single card you add can make a difference. Really, for me, like ever since, I guess, starting last night, I was just going through my deck list a little bit, and then specifically leading up to this tournament today, like an hour before, I started really trying to think carefully about every single card, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. I don't know if Sammy noticed, but that card, the 3 attack 2 defense Praetorians unit, it's a very, very popular card in this deck. I didn't run a single copy, and I just thought, you know, I want to try something different. In my head, I was thinking, okay, Sammy loves countering. I don't know what's the largest spell stack we saw this match. It just everything's like kind of in a blur to me, but a spell stack is really cool when one player starts a spell and then you counter it, and then that other player, your opponent, counters that spell, and, you know, it can go on and on. And I think that there was, like, very close to the end of the game, now that I remember, there was that really nice spell stack where Sammy tried to really kill my 4/7 architect card. And if that had dealt one more damage, or if I was blocking my architect, if I had placed it in front of his architect, even small things like that could have made all the difference, because it was just missing one damage in order to stop me from killing off his 3 attack 2 defense unit. So I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling now, but
well, I mean, dude, it's a card game, you know, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
And like that one move that you're talking about, I know exactly what you're talking about. You know, he was going to play a Noble's Fortune to kill you, or no, wait, what was it? No, he was going to play a Skull Throw, and he did, and then it wasn't going to kill you though, but it would have put you in range for the Praetorians to kill you. And
correct.
then you Skull Throwed to kill him, and then he quick striked, and I was just like, bro, what? It was the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, I had a hunch that I honestly, like, normally if I'm really serious, like, I'll write down what cards each player is playing, and maybe, like, if I know they play 2 copies of certain spell cards, I don't have to worry about it. I think just this match, I was things have been hectic today. My heater, my house stopped working. I'm just a little bit out of it, but I was like, oh, I didn't get to do all of the kind of the nerdy, the geeky stuff that I could have done actually to think through this match. But all in all, I think it was amazing. I hope that this match sets like or this entire tournament sets a good precedent for like the ones that are coming up. And for those, again, watching, come learn the game, because even though it might have been hard to follow along this specific game, the game is actually a lot easier to pick up than you think. And there's going to be so many more tournaments going forward. lots more prizes. I hope a lot of other Cardano projects, just like Jelly Cubes, start actually reaching out to Wolves of Rome, or Wolves of Rome gets connected somehow and sets up these events. But I believe we're going to see many, many more of these going forward. And I'm just looking forward to see who's going to take the next one. And yeah.
There's one going on right now, actually, right? Do we want to talk about it?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that one. So there's one that doesn't include prizes. This is a new game format, but it's really fun. Again, for the viewers that were watching, you might have seen that we started off with 1 mana. So it was kind of that blue crystal on the right side of our screen. But you actually start with 10. So since you start with 10, the strategy is completely different. And the game mode is called Arcane Moon, and we're even, some of us in the community right now are theory crafting and trying to come up with what we think is a strong deck for it. I thought I had the meta deck figured out, and then I matched up against Sammy even during the period of the event last week, and he took me out with the Lich deck. So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe it's not as clear cut. It's not as simple as one deck or one commander is the meta, but I think we're going to have some fun figuring out that game mode and what are some cool strategies to play. But there'll be so many more. There'll be fun holiday-based events, like even this Arcane Moon, like this type of new game mode. I believe there was one for Halloween last year, which I just missed when I joined the Wolves of Rome community. But I know that there's just so many more things in store. So that's what I think makes all of us as players so excited to learn the game and be here. And also, it's amazing just being able to see new players come in. I'm sure you guys have maybe felt that way when you played games with other games before, is when you have friends to play with, when you have other people, new people to play with, it makes the game so much more fun.
Yeah,
I feel like I was talking. I don't know if we have any questions.
No.
I was just gonna say, I feel like I was talking
I
a
can
lot
tell
too.
the passion.
Yeah,
I mean, I could tell the passion with you guys too, and it's cool. Like this game, you guys seem to have like a really tight knit community, and it's crazy how much development has already gone on with the project. And I agree, Ken. I think from me as a project founder's perspective, you're constantly looking for new, unique ways to either collab with another community or like have some sort of game or engagement or just different things like that. And this is where the Wolves of Rome tournament came into play. And I think there's going to be more projects in the future doing this sort of thing. And I can imagine as the game develops and kinks get figured out and, metas change and new cards get added, I can definitely see like other projects being incorporated, whether tournaments or whatever the case is. So yeah, it was a pleasure watching you guys, and heck of a match. I know you got some awesome prizes too. So I want to give a shout out to the guys at Stag, CCC, Her Monster, Goombles, like all these guys help pitch in different prizes as well. And I mean, just the Magenta Pass alone from Stag Alliance is a huge win and well-deserved, Ken. But yeah, I do have to go somewhere pretty soon. I have another meeting coming up, but I think it would be cool if both of you guys gave like I don't know, like a little last tidbit little thing, whatever you want to say about the tournament, about the experience, just kind of a closer statement.
Sammy, do you want to start?
Of course. Well, I enjoyed the tournament. Maybe in the future it should have been not so grindy, more skill based, that you have maybe playoffs instead of playing like 12 games a day. But I want to firstly thanks for hosting this tournament. It was a very pleasure to play this game. And yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think, I'll probably just echo similar things. Like, I have a few shout outs. Tiny Girth, I'll shout him out. He was the one, that came up with the first counter to Sammy's absolutely terrifying Zenobia deck. All of us in the community fear that thing like crazy. Because, again, how could you not when this man's got an insane win rate on it? So there's been fun things like that. Benji last minute was helping me test out a few different unique things on the Zenobia deck leading up to the tournament. Just a lot of people all around to go shout out. Definitely the big shout out to my man CD Triple C. He's been such a great friend in the community for me, and I think again, super happy about how this tournament went down. Thank you, Atlantic and Block, for hosting this stream. And thank you for every single viewer that's here, just giving this game a look. And I hope that we see you come pop into the community. I know a lot of people have been saying this, oh, like it's such a shame that we're so late to the community and all of these great players already know how to play, and it feels like it's so hard to win. But I see Atlantic shaking his head. It's so early. It's so early. We had new players that have totally come in and shaken things up and actually ranked in the top 10 and even taken lots of games off of new players. So if you are passionate about strategy games, if you love games in general, if you want to earn prizes, there's going to be so many more coming up. So come pop in the community. Again, if you're willing to actually sit on a voice call with some of us and learn the game, we're more than happy to teach you. I know not everyone enjoys that type of engagement, but again, it's been neat seeing just exactly how loving the community is towards new players. So I hope, I hope more people come check out Wolves Realm.
Yeah, I'll just say as well, reiterating about being new or late to the party. Everybody always feels that they're going to be late to the party with every game, no matter what game it is. I'm a huge Super Smash Brothers player. I started playing in 2012 or 14 or whatever. The game came out in 2002, and you just get your ass whooped for 5 months straight, and then you get better. But as long as you're having fun, that's the whole point of it. So pick up the game, have fun with it. Don't mind if you win or lose. It's you're learning. Just try to learn, have some fun, and you'll get better over time. But also, there's only so many cards because the game's so new, so you can really get a crash course, learn pretty quickly, and then when the new cards come out, you don't have to do all that studying. You've already got it. You just need to learn a few more cards, and then you can implement that into your own strategy, and boom, now you're a Wolves player. So yeah.
I couldn't say that better,
man. And I do want to say with Kyle, Stag Alliance, The Block, Cardano, Crocs Club, Goombles, Fast Society, Adania, Eggs World, Ape Society, Cheddar Block, Mallard Order, Waifus, they all contributed to prizes. There was no way I could remember the list. But yeah, I did want to say that. And dude, Atlantic, thank you for hopping on the stream with me and kind of co-hosting this. I would have been so lost without you. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the viewers watching as well. I think we're gonna wrap up the stream here. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
sounds
again.
good to me.
Awesome. Thank you guys, and appreciate it, Atlantic, once again. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
No problem, man.